All right, well, boys, I've been saying I'm going to make a Q&A vid for well over a month. So today I'm going to do what I do best. Overpromise and underdeliver. No, I'm just fucking around. Um, like I said, though, I did ask about the Q&A a long time ago, so I have a couple questions lined up here. Some are a little bit older. And I'm just going to hop right into it because I feel like I ramble a lot at the beginning. Also, if you guys like this style of video or want me to make more Q&As, just drop any questions you have in the comments, really, and just let me know. I guess that's like the only way I can know if you guys like really fuck with it is like if you guys let me know. So I appreciate it. And let's hop into the first one here just off the bat because there's a couple. All right, so first things first, shout out to Dan H right here for dropping 6 questions. You're really helping me out with the content here, brother. I appreciate it. But he says right here, so first question, while being unemployed, how have you managed to deal with the stress and anxiety of not having a role despite your best efforts to secure one? That's a really great question, and I feel like my answer is going to be a little boring, which I'm sorry about but ahead of time, but I really don't feel like I dealt with the stress and anxiety of it well at all. I think I genuinely like tweaked out way too much over it. I got so fucking anxious. Like I couldn't sleep for, like I mean I could sleep for like a couple hours, but like I was having a hard time sleeping even more so than normal for like months just because I was so fucking terrified of not getting a job back in my field, not getting into another role that I want to be at long term. Like, I already had a job I liked a lot and I lost that shit. And so it's like, I got into my dream career field before the age of like before being in my mid 20s, and then also before getting out of my mid 20s I kind of lost it, so I was scared like what if I peaked kind of thing. And I mean, to be fair, I still like I may have a job now, but it's still not a job in my field that I'm searching for. So I mean, I'm not saying the concerns and fears were like valid or anything like that, or I should have been like stressed out about it, but I certainly was fucking worried about it, and I certainly still fucking am if this job doesn't get back to me shortly here. So yeah, that's the first one. All right, and the second question here, do you ever feel like you're stuck when trying to find a job because it's taking a long time? Do you begin to doubt yourself and your abilities? If so, what things do you like to do to help you deal with it? That's a really great fucking question because yes, like if finding a job right now feels like trying to fucking run in quicksand, and it's fucking terrible. Like it feels fucking impossible. It's not impossible, but it feels that way right now, especially for the field I'm looking for, just because it's so dogged on right now, which I mean we'll get to later in a little bit here. So yeah, I do doubt myself a lot. Like I still do, not as much as I did before. I'm trying to get better about that, but yeah, I feel like I dealt with a lot of like imposter syndrome during like the beginning of me being unemployed, the first couple months. Now, not as much because the things I've been doing to kind of like change that. Like the second half of this question here is I've basically just making a lot more coding projects, a lot more side projects, a lot more fun ones. I'm working on a side thing right now. It's like the little Spider-Man tracker app from the Spider-Man movie. Obviously, it wouldn't fucking work because there's no Spider-Man, but like it'll have like a little fucking symbol over New York somewhere. That's kind of what I'm working on now. Shouldn't be too hard to do, but like basically what I do is try to keep myself interested in what I like doing and making sure I'm keeping my skills sharp. Because I feel like like after being unemployed for like 2 months and not getting a job, it's like, damn, am I even fucking good at this? Like, did my last job just like kind of give me a layup? Like, am I just terrible at coding or some shit? So that's kind of how it feels sometimes. It's not the case, obviously. It's just fucking, the internal monologue you kind of got to fight with. But that's a great question. So, question 3 is an interesting one here. Do you procrastinate much during the job search process? If so, how often and how long do you find yourself procrastinating for? And how do you try to manage it? So, yes and no. I guess is kind of the best way to answer that. Um, yes, as in, I'll be locked in, submitting applications daily, like good applications, making sure that they're quality. And then I'll just get so burnt out on it that like I'll just go like a couple days straight without even thinking of like submitting an application, which I cannot afford to be doing. I got to like make sure I'm doing that better. So yes and no. Like I said, like weekly, I'm still probably doing 50 plus applications a week, like high quality ones. Now I'm not really spamming like the LinkedIn easy applies. I'm like tailoring my resume using like shit like ChatGPT and Claude to like tailor my resume for certain job postings, because if they're going to use AI to screen my resume, I might as well use AI to like get past that screening, and it's been working pretty well for me. I have that I mean, you guys have been hearing about that last job that I've been interviewing for. I did all 4 interviews. I'm just waiting to hear back from them now. They said they'll get back to me, I believe, sometime this week now. I was supposed to be last week, but they had some more interviews to do. So hopefully that goes well. But I mean, I got that interview in the first place from that big company doing that ChatGPT method. So I would recommend that. I'd also recommend to have ChatGPT and Claude go over your resume for a certain job listing, and basically just don't lie on the application, but use it to like tailor what experience you have for the application, which sounds simple, but I feel like I wasn't doing that to the best of my ability when I first started the job search process. But yeah, so I try to manage it by just making sure that I'm staying on track, that I'm hitting like my goal for how many applications I want to apply to a week, which is usually around 50, and just making sure that I have everything set up the way it should be. All right, so question 4 here. Between your period of unemployment and layoff to the present day, what would you say is the most meaningful thing you've learned from your experience of job hunting? Once again, that's a great question. I think, honestly, the most important thing that I didn't think I needed to learn, but I clearly did, is just fucking perseverance. Because after like month 2 of not finding a job, I swore I was going to be unemployed fucking forever. I mean, you guys saw the video. Like after I had that fucking 4-person interview where they fucking ran an interview train on me, I thought it was over. I thought it was wraps. But that's a fucking crazy sentence. Wow. Anyways, yeah. The most meaningful thing 100% is just perseverance, sticking with it. Like everybody's having a tough time in the job market, not just you, even though it maybe feels like it's just you. It's not just you, and obviously like, everybody knows that, but yet once you go through it, you kind of like see it from a different perspective. You're kind of forced to realize that. All right, for the next question here, I like this one a lot. How do you like to prepare for your technical interviews at companies that have offered an interview? Number one, the most important thing is to, before studying or anything like that, before looking at what technologies they use, just realize if you apply to this and you know you have the skills for it, you don't need to be overstressing it. If you get in like a in person or like a person on a call directly for a technical interview, and not just like a single interview where you're talking to a webcam by yourself answering questions, you're already winning. You're already doing a great job. You're doing better than most people. And all you got to do here is just, lock the fuck in and study. So the most important thing, which is like, chill, like realize that you got this and don't overthink it too much. And then right after that, look at, okay, what are the top things this company wants? Do they want someone that knows, like Node.js through and through? Do they want someone that's like an expert in React? What is their bread and butter? What do they want first? And whatever that is, get fucking proficient in it. Like make study guides for it, find study guides for it, and then just grind. And then just like, then same thing, but for like the next skill they want, like in that order of like the most important skills. You can't add experience to your resume, but you can add, like you can, if you get that interview, you're already past the experience part. They don't care about your experience if they're on that call with you, and you can get them talking and go, hey, look, like I know this, this, and this. And if you can get that in-person call, you can show them like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this. And they're not fucking up by hiring me. That's the most important thing. All right, final question here from Dan H. Thank you again, brother. All right, what inspired you to start YouTube, and how are you finding it? So, I mean, I think one thing that inspired me, that probably inspired everybody my age that played Call of Duty, is I used to watch like, the trick shotting montages and shit. And I was just like, damn, like I could do that. And so I made this channel like 12 years ago, during like Black Ops 3, I think, and I was just doing like wall jump trick shots that were terrible. those are all long deleted, like years ago. I kind of wish I kept them. Um, but that was like my original reason for making this channel. And then I just enjoy streaming. Like me and Zach, you'll see us stream a lot. I enjoy streaming. I like playing like shooter games. Like more recently, I've been getting back into like Counter Strike. I used to play Valorant a lot, which please don't unsubscribe for that. I'm sorry. And yeah, that was mostly like what I used to do on here. And then I kind of just let the channel sit for a bit, and then I started having fun with it. And like I started doing like the like little like the streams are still up for. You can go back and look from like April of last year. I started like dressing up like a wizard and playing like the Oblivion remake. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan, and like that was mostly what I was doing here. And I kind of like let it breathe for a bit, didn't really touch it too much. And when I lost my job, I was just like, I have so much free time. I should probably put some effort into this. Like I have more time to put more effort. Um, let's see how much I can grow this while I'm looking for a job. And my goal was to have 100 subscribers by the end of this year, because I started with like, I think I was around 50 something or 80 something subscribers in January. The very end of January, beginning of February, when I made that first video. That's it's unlisted right now, but my first video they got over 1,000 views, and I was shocked. I was like, holy shit! Like people want to watch my videos. That's crazy. Like I appreciate it. So yeah, that was that was the main jump for the kind of videos you're seeing now. And I've been enjoying making them. I kind of like just sitting here ranting. I feel like it's kind of good for the mental health to like, talk about the fucking job market and, hear everybody else's experience too. Kind of helps me realize like, look, it's not just me. It's shit for all of us right now. But yeah, and how am I finding it so far? I love it. Like I said, I've had the channel for like 12 years, and I've been like making videos throughout those 12 years. And before before this year, I only had like 50 subscribers. Like I said, like I mean it when I say I'd make videos even if nobody was watching, because I have been for a while. But yeah, like I'm loving it. And like the support has been crazy. Like I really do appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys. Like you guys are honestly legends. Like there'd be no community on the channel without you guys, commenting and like watching and all that stuff. So, like it's super fucking cool to see, and I do appreciate all of it. All right, so the next question here is from Young Taz. They said, what's your goal with the YouTube channel long term? How long are you willing to do this before your goal is reached? Just curious as someone aspiring to start their own channel. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate that. And my goal long term is honestly just to be more consistent, and in the next couple months here, after I see how like my schedule shapes up here, to make a more consistent uploading schedule. And honestly, that's mostly my goal right there. I don't have a end goal. There's not like if I hit 20K or 10K or 5K subscribers, like I'm happy and I could walk away. It's more so just like I like making the videos. I kind of want to stay consistent. And, as long as I'm not like bullshitting and talking about stuff that's actually important to me, then I'm happy at the end of the day. And I think just honestly just being me and continuing to be me, which, I feel like I'm doing decent with so far. And yeah, and if you're thinking about starting your own channel, man, I say do it. You got a free subscriber right here, dude. Just let me know when you start it. Or I could even go back and subscribe to you right now, technically, because your channel is open. So I will be doing that in this video, I promise. But yeah, man, like just make videos. Don't really worry about like, oh, is someone going to watch this? Is someone going to watch this? If you like it, that's really all that matters, man, at the end of the day. If you like it, eventually, like, and you're just like yourself, eventually people will be like, I like that person. Like they seem like a cool person, or like, they're not fake. And that's one thing I think, like with all the people I like watching, personally, like people like Avery Gaps, Rad Russian, like when you see them, it's just like their videos, it just seems like them talking about like their real experience and how they are. And that makes me, at least as a viewer for them, want to watch more, because it feels more real to me than like, I don't know, maybe like a Luna, someone that, kind of tells stories as well in like their own way, but it's you can kind of tell that a lot of those are kind of bullshit. No shade to Luna, but like I'm just I'm keeping it real. But yeah, man, I'd say start the channel. Like I said, I'm about to sub to you right now. I'll probably put a screenshot up here too. But yeah, man, go for it. I think you'll kill it. All right, so this next question here is a good one. Question: do you smoke pot / do drugs or have a criminal history? Because if not, try to get a government job or contractor work. Getting a clearance would be the tricky bit, but if you find somewhere to sponsor you one, even if it's not in software engineering, you can transfer into a software engineering cleared job after a year or so. So, first part of the question, yes, I do smoke weed, which is kind of a contradiction of this video right here. And at the time I made that video, of course, I was on a little over like a 2-month tolerance break, which, by the way, I would recommend for everybody. More recently, though, I have been smoking. I have my medical card out here in Florida, but obviously I know for like federal stuff, you would need to not, be doing that even if you had a medical card, which is fine. I have no problem like taking time off and all that. And I have applied for roles like that. Unfortunately, where I live out here in Tampa, a lot of the software engineering jobs are already like, security clearance required. Even like small IT jobs or like really most jobs requiring a security clearance that I've applied for. When I say most, I mean like really all but one have not offered any sponsorship for it. You have to already have it in order to apply. It's like a yes or no thing. And if you put no, it's like, do not submit this application. So I haven't found anybody out here or any company out here that's willing to sponsor a new employee. I saw one time. I didn't end up getting a call back from them, but that was also a role that didn't really fit my skill set or my previous experience. But yeah, so that is the hard part, is the security clearance. It seems like every job out here in like the tech field, if it's local, like in person, you need some kind of security clearance for. And that's because we got like, a big like Air Force base out here and like a lot of like, military industrial stuff. Which like, it's whatever, but getting that security clearance, you need a security clearance to get the job, but you can't get the security clearance without having the job. So it's a whole it's a circle. It's like, you got to have credit to get a credit card, but you can't get a credit card without good credit kind of shit. It's just like that. Unfortunately, nobody can fucking co-sign a security clearance for you, to my knowledge. But yeah, so that's my answer for that one. Yes, I do smoke. Would I recommend it? No, I think recommending someone to smoke is crazy at the end of the day. I think telling someone to do any kind of drug would be wild. But yeah, that's my answer. Hopefully that answered your question, Ghost Flame. I appreciate it. And thank you. All right, so this next question's an interesting one from Mr. Blisters. Have you thought about working as a data center technician? The only bad part is you usually have to work nights and sometimes on call, but it's an entry point. Software engineering is kind of dead for entry level right now. I do agree with the second half of that, which I'll get to in a second here. But the first part of working in a data center as a technician, the hours and all that stuff wouldn't be the issue I would have with that. More so, there's just none in my area. As of yet, honestly, hopefully it stays that way. But there's none in my area. It's just not a role that I'm able to do, seeing as it's an in-person role, and it's just, nothing close to me. I do, however, agree that entry-level software engineering is, I wouldn't say it's fully dead, but I would say it's like, it's pretty fucking close, it's pretty fucking close. So I do agree with your assessment, and I do think that would be a viable path if there was just like that infrastructure in my area. Although, like I said, I'm kind of glad it's not in my area. But thank you for your question. I do appreciate it. All right, so this one is a hot button issue right now. Is software engineering cooked or not? In my opinion, the intake will be drastically reduced. It's damn near over. And that's from Boxer01. Thank you for the question. That's a great question. just a straight yes or no. I don't think it's cooked overall. I'm gonna say not on that one. However, I do agree that second half where the intake in new hires, in work for new hires will be drastically reduced for the time being. I think over the next year or two that may still be the case. And then I believe personally that the market should bounce back. Whether that's in 2 years, 3 years, I think it will, just based off the fact that, with all the automation we have, there's just a lot more errors. And I think it's not so much is software engineering cooked. I think the role of a software engineer is going to be changing much more from, instead of writing a couple hundred lines of code in a day, you're more so reviewing what, like, a couple thousand lines that were automated. So the time that you would spend coding a couple hundred lines, you would instead spend reviewing, like, way more fucking lines in the code than you could write in a day, just because AI will make code that's, good enough or not good enough. But that's on, like, I think that's the software engineer's job to now catch that. I think that's going to be the new role, is mainly code review. Which, I mean, if you think about it, that is what a senior engineer does most of the time anyways, right? They delegate tasks to junior engineers, and then they review merge requests and pull requests, anything along those lines. They review code to make sure it's not going to fuck something up or break the system. So I think that junior engineers are going to start looking a lot more like senior engineers in terms of what their work entails. Instead of reviewing a junior engineer's code, they're just reviewing an AI agent's code. Do I think that's a good or bad thing? I don't really know, if I'm being honest with you. But I think that's the way it's heading. I wouldn't be shocked to see it head that direction. And I wouldn't be shocked to see the market bounce back here. There are a couple of extenuating circumstances, not to, like, get into anything, like, political or anything like that. But, in the country I live in, there's, not the best market right now for a multitude of reasons, not just AI, but for, some policy. And I think that will change over time, and that'll get better. Personally, I like to think that way, but maybe that's just me being a little too optimistic. But great question, thank you, man. All right, so this question I wanted to answer here, just because I feel like I didn't do a good job explaining it in some previous videos. So this is after I left the door knocking job and I started back at the law firm I used to work at. So basically, what happened here was I was unemployed for a long time. I got that door knocking job. I worked it. I didn't, like, hit the numbers they wanted. I come to find out over 77% of all their new hires get fired. I found that out after I started working there, so that didn't help. That's the place where I had, like, the gun pulled on me and all that stuff while I was on the job. And so I left there. Well, I left there, and then they also said they were going to fire me that same day anyways. It was a whole thing. I have a video about it up there called I Quit My Job, if you want to check that one out. But yeah, so that's when I left, and the role I'm working at currently is the law firm. Unfortunately, it's not really a tech role. Kind of. I can kind of stretch it to make it seem that way on a resume a little bit, by, like, not lying. But, it's not in my field, I guess is the best way I would put it. And yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. And then the interviews I've been applying for and all that, I'm still staying at this job. I'm still at this job, but if I get that new job, that's when I would leave this job. So yeah, I just know that I've been talking about applying for a new job, and a lot of people have been saying, like, hey, did you lose your job already? Did you quit your job? No, I'm still here. Like, I still have this place. If anything doesn't work out, I just really hope it does work out with that place I've been interviewing for. So I've done 4 interviews for them, and I'm just waiting for them to get back to me now. But yeah, great question. I appreciate it, because I feel like I need to clear that one up. All right, and this last one here is not really a question. It's just more a statement that took me by surprise, I guess you could say. It's certainly one way to walk out of a job. It's certainly one way to leave. And I don't know if Angel 80890 is telling the truth here, but based off that profile picture, that man was an Xbox demon. He for sure did this. So, I can't say I condone it. I can't say I hate it either. That's kind of funny, man. It depends on what the job was. If you just left because like you didn't like working there, that's kind of fucked up. If there was like some shitty people working there, you know what, man? If it was their fault, it was their fault. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not something I would do, but I can respect the chance of getting caught doing that. That's outstanding. So yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. That's all the questions I had here. If you have anything else, feel free to drop it in these comments. I can make another video like this. I'll probably do it in a couple videos. I'll gain some like questions, put them all together, kind of do a format like this, maybe a little bit better because it's my first time doing something like this. So it's kind of all over the place and kind of fucked up. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Fucking deuces.